Hello, good morning students. Today we are going to discuss the next topic in Unit 3, Concept of Keys and Relational Integrity. Concept of Keys. In our DBMS, a database is nothing but a collection of tables. A table is a two-dimensional structure which is composed of rows and columns. Okay, and a table contains several attributes. Those attributes plays very important role while managing the data in the tables. Okay, key is nothing but an attribute or a group of attributes in the table which are used to identify each row in the table uniquely and also used to determine values of other attributes. Okay, the behind concept of key is nothing but determination. That means by using a value of one attribute we can determine other values of attributes. Okay, say for example, if you know the roll number, you can say about the student name, student address, phone number, like that. Or if you know the name of the student, you can tell some details regarding that student, like that. Okay, and also keys are used to establish among relationships, establish relationships among tables. Okay, and the main important role of keys are to ensure integrity of data. What is an integrity of data? Integrity means to ensure accuracy and consistency of data in the relational databases. Okay. So for that purpose, here we have so many types of keys. One is super key, candidate key, primary key, alternate key, composite key, and foreign key. Okay. Just uh, see this table, student table, what it contains: the roll number, F name, last name, DOB, cell number, other, class. These are the attributes in this student table. This student table contains how many records? 3 records, 3 entity occurrences. Okay. Okay. And coming to the super key. What is the super key? Super key is an attribute or group of attributes of a table that uniquely identify each row in the table. Okay. Generally, to identify each and every row uniquely, that key contains unique values and cannot never contain null values also. Can never contain null values. Okay. And every table can have more than one super key also in student table. That means whatever attributes in your table are used to identify each and every row uniquely, those attributes becomes super keys. Okay, for example, in your student table, by using the roll number, we used to identify each and every student uniquely. That's why the roll number is an super key here. And coming to roll number and class combination. Okay, so if there is one class, roll number is enough to identify each and every record uniquely. But there are several classes with the same roll numbers. So we use to identify each row uniquely. We use the combination of roll number and class. Okay. Otherwise, the roll number, first name, and last name, and cell number. Cell number is also used to identify a person uniquely in at most all cases. And coming to Aadhaar number, yes, every person has a unique Aadhaar number. That's why by using this number also we used to identify each and every record uniquely. Okay, so how many super keys in the student table? Roll number plus class, roll number plus first name plus last name, cell number, Aadhaar number. There are 5 super keys in the student table. Those are used to identify each student record uniquely in the table. Coming to candidate key. Okay. So there are so many, if there are so many super keys in the table, one specific type of super key is called as candidate key. Okay. Candidate key is nothing but it's a minimal super key. That means a super key without its redundancies. That means the super key does not contain subset of attributes as a super key. What it means? That means if you take the super keys, the subset part of the super key does not identify uniquely each and every row. Okay, that means a part of the super key cannot be the super key. That is nothing but minimal super key, the super key without redundancies. In student table, how many super keys are there? 5 super keys. Roll number plus class, roll number, first name, last name, cell number and Aadhaar number. Okay. So when you take the super keys roll number, class, roll number, first name, last name, a subset roll number is also a super key. That's why those two keys are not considered as super keys. Coming to roll number, cell number, Aadhaar number, okay, those are minimal super keys which are used to identify each and every row uniquely. That means those attributes without redundancies, the super key without redundancies. Okay, so for this table how many candidate keys are there? 3 keys: roll number, cell number and Aadhaar number. Okay, coming to primary key. Okay. So a candidate key in a table selected to identify uniquely all other attribute values in any given row. Okay, that selected candidate key in a table is called as primary key. What is primary key? Primary key is an attribute or group of attributes which are used to identify each and every row uniquely in the table. And coming to primary key cannot accept null values and repeated values also to ensure identification. Okay, to identify each and every student or each and every employee, they should have unique number, unique roll number or unique employee number. Okay, that should not be not null, that should not be null. Okay, and in student table there are several candidate keys are there: roll number, cell number and Aadhaar number. Okay, actually as per our real world requirements, real world specifications, we can choose any one of the candidate key as a primary key. Okay, in this example, in student table here we are maintaining the college database. That's why the roll number attribute is chosen as the roll number candidate key is chosen as primary key in the table. Okay, coming to alternate key. Okay, in this case what is alternate key? Alternate key means if a table contains more candidate keys, so one of the candidate key is chosen as primary key. Already we know that. What about the remaining candidate keys in the table? Okay, which are not chosen as a primary key of the table. So the extra candidate keys in the table which are not chosen as a primary key of the table is called as alternate keys. Okay. Why these keys has a name alternate? Why? Because of course although those are not the primary keys, but they can still identify each and every row uniquely. Okay, so in this example roll number, cell number and Aadhaar number are the 3 candidate keys. Okay, So if you the roll number is chosen as primary key, then the other two candidate keys like cell number and Aadhaar number are as alternate keys. Coming to composite key. What is composite key? If a key consists of more than one attribute is called as composite key. What it means? Sometimes one attribute is not enough to identify each and every row uniquely. Okay, so for example, if you take the student table, in a single class, the roll number is enough to identify each and every student uniquely. But when you have so many classes in the college, every class has same roll numbers. In that case, by using the roll number, you cannot identify each and every record, every student. That's why use the combination of roll number plus class name. Okay, like class BCA second section roll number 5. Okay, so here the two attributes are combined to create unique combination values. Okay, that means if a key consists of more than one attribute are called as composite key. Okay, and coming to foreign key. Foreign key. What is a foreign key? Foreign key is also known as a reference key, which consists of an attribute or group of attributes, okay, and whose values must match with their corresponding primary key values in the related table. Okay, otherwise it contains null values. That means the primary key column allows only its corresponding primary key values in the related table or null values. Okay, so other values other than primary key values, other than null values are not allowed to enter into the primary key column. Okay, and also primary key is used to establish a relationship between two tables also. Okay, that means a foreign key in one table points to the primary key in another table. Okay, so especially foreign key avoids wrong entries in the tables. Okay. For example, if you take the department table and employee table, what is the relationship between those two? One department may contain several employees and each employee belongs to only one department. So, department to employee, we have only one to many relationship between the department to employee table. Okay, what it contains? The department table contains three attributes: department number, department name and location. Okay, here the department number is a primary key in the department table. Coming to employee, in employee table we have employee number, e-name, salary, job, hire date, manager number, MGR, commission and department number. In employee table, employee number is a primary key. Okay, so in order to establish a relationship among those tables, one side primary key is stored as foreign key in the many side table. Okay, actually to maintain a relationship between two tables, a common column should be maintained. Okay, that common column is primary key in one side table and foreign key as in many side table. Okay, here the department number primary key in department table is as foreign key in the employee table. Okay, and just see this entries also. Okay, so department number, what it contains, 10, 20, 30, and employee, in employee table just the common column department number you observe, It contains the values of 10, 20 and 30. Okay. In employee table, department number is a reference key or foreign key. Okay, which allows only its corresponding primary key value in the related table or null values. Okay, other values cannot be allowed here. Okay, so 10, 20, 30, all those are values in the department number column in the department table. Okay. Okay. And coming to relational integrity. So relational integrity is very useful and important concept and advantageable concept in the relational database management system. Okay. Relational integrity. Integrity means accuracy and consistency of data in the relational databases. It enforces information based constraints. Okay, that means the relational integrity, in relational integrity it has data integrity constraints. Okay, those data integrity constraints refers to the accuracy and correctness of data in the databases. Okay, what are the constraints? Constraints are nothing but the rules and regulations, restrictions placed on the data to ensure accuracy and consistency and correctness of data in the relational databases. Okay, why? Because in our DBMS we used to perform so many operations in the databases data like insertion, updation, deletion, like that. Okay, so when you perform number of operations on the data, we should maintain consistency and accuracy of data in the databases. Okay, so that that consistency and accuracy should be provided by the data integrity constraints. Okay, and these are very important. Actually, these rules, data integrity constraints rules, are very important to companies or organizations, because information can be considered as an asset to certain organizations and it must be protected. Okay. Okay, that means as possible. Okay, so database is only as good as information stored in it, and a DBMS must therefore help prevent the entry of incorrect information. Okay, so in databases always we use it to maintain consistent data and correctness of data. Okay, and we should prevent the entry of incorrect information, and also after performing any number of operations on the data databases, the data should be in the consistent state and always correct state, correctness, and always yields correctness, accuracy. Okay, for that purpose the relational database management system provides one of the important concept. That concept is known as relational integrity. Okay, so relational integrity means data integrity constraints. There are so many data integrity constraints are there: entity integrity, referential integrity, and domain integrity. Okay. Coming to entity integrity. Entity integrity is nothing but entity integrity means a primary key cannot accept null values. Okay. So what it states, the entity integrity rule states that the primary key cannot accept null values. Why? Because always the primary key column contains unique values and not null values. It does not accept null values. Why? Because those values are used for unique identification of each and every row in the table. Okay, so to have a complete identification of the entity occurrences in the entity, the primary key cannot accept null values. This constraint is called as entity integrity constraint. Okay. For example, consider the player entity player. The attributes of the entity players are player number, name, age, nation, and rank. In this example, the player number as a consider the player number as a primary key. We cannot insert any data in the relation player without entering the number of the player. Okay. So this is very important. For example, when you take the student table, student roll number is compulsory. You should enter each and every student's roll number. And in employee table, employee number. Okay. Like that, if you take any entity, one of the attribute that is used to identify each and every record uniquely, that attribute value should be unique and cannot accept null values. Okay. This refers entity integrity constraint. And coming to relational integrity. Okay. So what is relational integrity? Already we discussed. To maintain association among tables, we used the concept of primary key and foreign keys. Okay. What is the referential integrity rules? What is a referential integrity rules set? A referential integrity is a rule that states that either each primary key value must match with a primary key value in another relation or the foreign key value must be null. Okay. So that means each foreign key attribute contains its corresponding primary key value in related table or null values. No other values are to be accepted in primary key column. This is the rule of referential integrity. Okay. So, and one more important point is referential integrity rule does not imply a primary key cannot be null. Okay. So, just you can enter null values in the primary key value or you can enter primary key values. But you cannot enter other values in the primary key foreign key column. Okay. It's a referential integrity. And what it says, entity integrity is about the primary key and referential integrity constraint about the foreign key. Okay. And coming to domain integrity constraint. Domain, what is the domain? Domain is nothing but a range of values in an attribute. Okay. So what is the minimum range and maximum range of values we have entered into the particular attribute column. Okay. So domains are used in the relational model to define the characteristics of the columns of the table. Okay. So when you mention the data type, when you mention the column name, you mention the data type and size also. Okay. So the size and data type determines the range of values also. Okay. So domain refers a set of possible values in a attribute. Okay. And domain specifies its own name, data type and its logical size also. Okay. Domain integrity rules are associated with maintaining the correctness of attribute values within the relations. Okay. And it checks the validity of entries for a given column. It checks whatever values you have entered into the column, it checks the validity of entries. Okay. And to enforce the domain integrity, we have some constraints like check constraint, foreign key constraint, default constraint and not null constraint also. Okay. So to enforce domain integrity by restricting the type, that means first of all data type, restriction starts from data type, and also format. Format can be implemented through check constraint and rules. Okay, that means in a column, uppercase letters are only allowed, numbers are only allowed in this column, in this particular column. Okay, and only 0 to 100 numbers are to be allowed in this column. Okay, so those restrictions are to be placed by using the check constraints. Okay, and also the range of possible values, only we can enter some range of possible values through using a foreign key constraint, and also check constraint, default constraint, not null constraint. Okay, so many constraints are there. Those constraints are used to enforce domain integrity. An example. For example, the age of a person cannot have any letter from the alphabet. Okay. So in the age column, you should enter the numbers. Okay. And example 2. For you to consider the relation applicant. Okay. Applicant refers the person who is applying for job. In the gender column is there. In that gender column, you should enter only 2 letters, either M or F. Okay. So that the domain of the gender is M and F. Only 2 possible values are to be accepted in the gender column. Okay. Otherwise, it violates the domain constraint. So, just see this example, then you can understand those constraints. Department table and employee table. Okay, so the entity integrity refers the in department table department number primary key, in employee table employee number primary key cannot be null and should be unique also. Okay, and coming to the referential integrity, department number in employee table department number is a foreign key. It contains only its corresponding primary key department number values or null values. Just you see that in employee table department number column, it contains only 10, 20, 30. Okay, those are the primary key values in the corresponding table department number primary key. Okay. And coming to domain integrity, what are the domain integrity? Okay, so domain integrity means restricting the values and range of values. Okay, like that. For example, department number, actually there are only 3 departments are to be existed in that organization. Then those department values either 10 or 20 or 30. No other value will be allowed in the department number column in the department table. Okay, it's a domain integrity. Okay, domain integrity can be enforced by using the check constraint. Okay, and ename values, employee name value should enter in capital letters only. Okay, if you enter the small letters, it does not allow. Okay, and coming to DNAME, department name, there are only 3 departments are there: accounts, research and sales. So the department name either accounts or research and sales. Okay, so when you consider these, when you see these domain integrity constraints, these constraints restricted unauthorized values into the tables. Okay. Frequently asked questions. The first important question is what is key, and explain types of keys. It's 5 marks. And the second one is for 10 marks. What is relational integrity? Explain types of integrity constraints. It's very important question. Students, just listen carefully and write down the running notes. If you have any doubts, just contact me immediately. Any questions? Thank you.